Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be doing part 1 of a 3-part series of my bookshelves. These are the shelves that are in my filming room, and we are just going to hop right into it because I have a lot of books to share with you. This is the first shelf we're going to go through. This is just a little fox figurine that reminds me of my brother that I keep on this shelf. And this is basically my Magnolia Parks shelf. I have these special editions that I ordered from Blackwell's. I believe they were done in the UK, and they are cloth bound and they're gorgeous. And I'm hoping they will do a matching set for the Daisy Hates when the final book comes out for that series. And then over here, we just have a faux Magnolia to top off this stack of paperbacks, which are the original UK designed paperbacks. And I'm sorry that I didn't show them to you, but maybe I'll put a picture on the screen. But they're just the standard UK paperbacks. And then I have these wood letters that say book and then woman because I'm the modern book woman. So, you know, a little tribute to the channel. And then I have a bunch of paperbacks back here. These are all indie editions. So I have the original indie editions of Spark of the Everflame, the first 3 books. And that was a dragon bookmark that my girlfriend gifted me. Next, we have the Lady of Darkness indie paperbacks with the original artwork. Now they've been picked up by a publisher, and I think they'll be coming out with new covers. I know they already have in the UK. I have been doing a reading vlog for this series for you guys, and I'm on the last book, so that will be coming soon. And then right next to it is the Book of Azrael, which I haven't read yet. Then I have this other stack of indie paperbacks. I have Avalon Tower at the bottom here, then the Legends of Thesmar, books 1 through 4, so that's a completed series. It's a really solid romantasy series, like 4-star, 4.25 stars overall. And then I have Middleslinger, which I haven't read yet. I did read A Touch of Golden Madness, and I really loved it, but I still need to read the prequel, The Embrace of Steel and Sorrow, which was released after the book. I've heard good things, I just haven't gotten to it. I don't know why. But I just really love this indie shelf, and I'm so excited to see some of these authors getting picked up by traditional publishers. And you guys, this is currently my favorite shelf. This is my dragon shelf. I also have Quicksilver over here with the butterflies. And then the rest of these are pretty much dragon related. So I have my moon for when the moon hatched. It turns colors. It has a remote. I love it. It's rechargeable. And then behind here, I have paperback editions of Fourth Wing, Quicksilver. I have the original indie cover plus the discreet cover. And then I also have To Bleed a Crystal Bloom series by the same author as When the Moon Hatched. And then this is my Fairyloot edition. This is my Waterstone edition. And then my perfectly edged edition of When the Moon Hatched, which, you know, if you've been around, is like one of my favorite books ever. And then, of course, I have the White Dragon on top to go along with the stories because the dragon is portrayed as being white and bright in the story. And then I have these other dragons here. This is a dark, kind of shiny blue, but it doesn't pick up on the camera so well. So this is Skill and Tern. And then above them is Andarna. She's kind of purpley, greenish, yellowish, goldish, iridescent. If you know, you know. And then I have my Fairyloot editions of Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, and I am expecting Onyx Storm soon. And then that's the Target exclusive of Onyx Storm, and then the first run print of Onyx Storm there. Once I get that Fairyloot edition, I am going to have to kind of rearrange my shelves. I may move some of those other editions of Onyx Storm to one of my other shelves. I do have other editions of this series. Yes, I collect books. I like to have many copies of special editions of the books that I love and the series that I love. Now this is my Carissa Broadbent shelf, but essentially it's Serpent and the Wings of Night. But I have this original copy of The 6 Scorched Roses that was printed by Carissa Broadbent, and then her original indie hardback edition of Slaying the Vampire Conqueror. I'm actually reading this book right now. And so all of her original indie published books have hidden covers underneath. And then behind there, we have the original indie hardcovers of Daughter of No Worlds, which is the War of Lost Hearts series. And here's the hidden cover for this one. I'm not going to show you the other two books, but you kind of get the picture. I've read the first book of this series and I loved it. I need to finish the series. I don't know why I haven't finished it. And then right next to the War of Lost Hearts series is the newest edition of Slaying the Vampire Conqueror, because a traditional publisher picked up Carissa Broadbent's books, and this just recently came out. It also has a hidden cover, but it's different from the original. And then that one, of course, has the sprayed edges, which I think is pretty nice. So, of course, I have those up there facing out. And then if you want to compare them, here's what they look like side by side. So the one on the left is her indie edition, and then this one is the latest traditional published one. You can kind of see subtle differences, and then of course the art is very different. It doesn't have the character art. I like the character art, but I don't know if that's just because of what I'm used to. It's nostalgic. And then these are my Fairyloot editions of Serpent and the Wings of Night and Ashes and the Star-Cursed King from the Crowns of Nyaxia. And I love the edges on this. I just think they're so stunning and beautiful and all the vibes. And then it's got the foiled covers, it's got inside cover art, and it has hidden covers. I love the character art on the hidden cover. Everything is so beautiful. I can't decide what to show on my shelf. I don't know whether to take the dust jacket off. I don't know whether to display it with the dust jacket on, spine out, edges out. Everything's just so beautiful. I have several copies of this series because I love it, and also there's just so many different editions of it and I can't make up my mind, so I have all of them. So this is Ashes and the Star-Cursed King Fairyloot edition, and I love the hidden cover on this one. I just think it's so stunning. And you know, I rearrange my shelves often because I'm always getting new books, and also just because I'm one of those people, I like to shake things up a little bit, so I have lots of options. This is just a snake from a witch costume that I wore at Halloween time, but it goes with the vibes, so I put it on the shelf. And then I have another set of Serpent and the Wings of Night, but this one was done by Perfectly Edged. Now, these are the UK traditionally published versions of her books, and then Perfectly Edged added their own edges to it. And I love their edges. They do a really good job. I purchased these before I even received like my Fairyloot ones or any other editions. So now I have all of them and they're all beautiful, and I have a really hard time getting rid of any of them. But I do love Perfectly Edged. I'll leave them down below. They also did one of those copies of When the Moon Hatched right next to this shelf. So I just love both of these together. I just think they're very complimentary. They give the vibes of the book. This is the indie hardcover copy of the Crowns of Nyaxia duology. And so you can kind of see the differences here. They're the same size. They're both published in the UK, but you can see the snake is a little bit different color. The way that it's printed with the title of the series and the author is a little different. But all in all, it has very similar vibes. They do have different internal secret covers though. So if you have the indie version and you have the traditionally published ones, they all have hidden covers, but they are all different. And then this is the indie Ashes and the Star-Cursed King with its hidden cover. And of course, the hidden covers are very complimentary, so each set matches each other very, very well. I will have to make a decision someday. I probably won't keep all of these, but for now, I just have them all here on the shelf. And now we move on to the traditionally published versions from the US, which are a different size. They are much smaller. I don't know why that is, and I hate it, but it is what it is. So I have these stacked over here. These are the US editions. Not only are they smaller, but they also have different hidden covers underneath. So again, it's just very difficult because they're each just a little bit different and I can't decide which ones I like more. And next are my editions from Owlcrate. So I have the 6 Scorched Roses, but I haven't opened it yet, and so I'm just keeping it protected. I have the latest book, and I can't decide. I was all excited to read it, and then I just heard really bad reviews from so many people who love the series, and now I'm kind of discouraged. So I haven't read it yet, but this is the Owlcrate version of Serpent and the Wings of Night. So again, I have another copy. You guys, I know it's ridiculous. It's not necessary, but it is what it is. I do love the hidden covers and the reversible dust jacket on these by Owlcrate. I may at some point flip them around because I do like the character art. I'm not really a character art person, but I feel like it really is a tribute to the indie covers, which I appreciate, and I do like that style. If we're gonna have character art, that's the kind that I like. And then we have Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. So the Owlcrate kind of did a blue and red theme. So this one is red. It also has the reversible dust jacket. It has solid sprayed edges, and then its own individual character art, as well as foiled hardcover underneath. So all of these editions are just beautiful. Like I said, it's so hard to decide. And then I also purchased the 3rd book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series, which is the Songbird and the Heart of Stone. So I think it's a set of duologies. So the 2nd book is going to be coming out for that duology pretty soon. And I keep saying Crowns of Nyaxia duology, but it's actually the Nightborn duet within the Crowns of Nyaxia world. And then all of these books take place in the Crowns of Nyaxia world, including Slaying the Vampire Conqueror. And so they're in the same world, but they're different stories, and there's different duologies and novellas. And then I love my rose here. It just matches so well with the cover of that book. And for all my SJM fans, I've got Crescent City series and Acotar series. So these are just my special editions. I recently received this Valeris jigsaw puzzle in a subscription book box. It's beautiful. I haven't done it yet. And then I just have this little trinket box I also got in a subscription, and I just thought it matched the vibes. So I have a few things in there and I keep it on the same shelf. And then this is a shadow book box that I got from LitJoy, and it's for acotar. It does light up, but I don't have it plugged in here. I just like how it looks even without the light on. And then I have the special edition of A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm not sure on this one if they're going to release matching editions of the other books in the series, but it comes in a book sleeve and it's a canvas cover with foiling. And then I have the Acrylipics rainbow editions of acotar. So I'm going to show you these. I have A Court of Thorns and Roses, of course, with the edges. And then I just love how everything goes together and the edges build this beautiful mural of Valeris. And then we have A Court of Mist and Fury. I love the art on it. I'm a sucker for foiling on the covers, on the dust jackets, pretty much anywhere. But I do enjoy this character art as well. I guess I'm just really picky about it. And then we have A Court of Frost and Starlight. So even this little novella guy goes in with the mural. And then finally, A Court of Silver Flames. And then we did find out that recently the 6th book in the series is going to be coming out in, I think, towards the end of 2026. But I just love these Acrylipics versions because everything's just so cohesive, no matter which way you choose to display the books. And of course, I'm hoping that as SJM adds to the series, Acrylipics will, fill in. I believe they've said that they will. This is called the rainbow set because every book underneath the cover is a different naked hardback, a different color, like colors of the rainbow. I do also have the regular hardback editions of these, but just not on this shelf. And then I have the third book, House of Flame and Shadow, Crescent City, just because it was the color that matched the best with the shelf. Because when it comes to my books, I do like the aesthetic look on my bookshelves. So we have here the first book, The House of Earth and Blood. These, again, are the Acrylipics editions. It's got a tribute to the original covers as the end page, and then a red naked hardback with just a crescent moon on it. And all of these do have reversible dust jackets, which I may change at some point, but right now I just really enjoy the edges. And so book 2 is a blue theme, House of Sky and Breath, of course with the sun on the spine. And then I don't show you here, but it is a blue naked cover. And then again with a reversible dust jacket, and the end page matches the original cover. And lastly, we have House of Flame and Shadow, which is a gold theme, again with the matching end pages. This one has a black cover with the crescent. And so, yeah, I just really love this edition. I love how Acrylipics makes these murals that kind of all go together. And then right next to this shelf is my Throne of Glass shelf. If you know this is one of my, well, it is currently out of completed series, my favorite series of all time. I've read it cover to cover twice now, and I will probably do a reread every couple of years. And that was just a tea tin from one of my subscription boxes that was acotar themed. This is a DIY of the stag, I should say, from the book. Kind of matches on the mural. I made it myself. I painted it myself. And then we have Goldrin with the red ruby jewel at the top. And I just love how the sword matches the special edition cover. Have a replica of a Braxos. And then I have a crown that kind of looks like antlers put together, what I imagine Aelin wearing. At the top are small red flowers to represent the King's Flame flowers that Aelin talks about. And then this again is the Acrylipics Throne of Glass special editions. I am obsessed with this special edition set. You can see the King's Flame on the bottom as well. And I'm not going to pull these ones out because I have an entire video dedicated to this set. So I will link that below if you want to see the individual books, what the covers look like, what they look like on the inside, the art, the character art, and all of that. And yeah, I just love this series so much, and this shelf makes me happy. This next one is kind of more whimsical, more romantasy kind of themed. I have the Rose Bargain from Barnes & Noble. This is the exclusive edition. I think it's beautiful. I haven't read this yet, but I'm really looking forward to reading it. When I'm waiting to read a book, I'll kind of set it on my shelf like that until I get to it. This is the One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns series, also Barnes & Noble exclusives. They are stunning. They're like out of print now, and I absolutely love them. It's the Shepherd King duology, and then she just released her new book, which I'm super excited to read, and it will probably end up on the shelf with these books eventually. But these have the sprayed edges. And then next to these are my Mary Pearson books. So we have the Vow of Thieves and Dance of Thieves books. They have these matching foiled black dust jackets, and then the print on the edges, they line up to make a picture, but I didn't pull them out here to show you. But again, I like the cohesiveness and how the spines go together. And then this is the Kiss of Deception, which is the Remnant Chronicles. The edges also make a picture. When you stack them, you can actually lay them horizontally, and it creates a map. And no matter which way you display the books, they all go together. It's very cohesive. Whoever designed it is brilliant and probably had to think very hard about it. And then I have a few little kind of just accents for the shelf over here. I've got these silk roses. I have another tea can from a subscription box. It was designed for the Once Upon a Broken Heart fandom. It just goes so well with it, and I keep some annotation supplies in it. And then I have a crown because, of course, we have lots of royalty within these books. And then behind here, I have another Mary Pearson book. It's her latest, The Courting of Bristol Keats, edges out. And then I have these UK cover editions of the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. This one is signed by the author. And then the original editions have hidden covers. And there's different ones, but this one is the hearts. I have all three of the books in the series. I have the UK covers with a hidden cover underneath, which was from the original print run. I just think they're so beautiful. I really prefer the UK covers on this series. They're gorgeous. The art is stunning. And of course, the hidden covers are fantastic. I do have the US editions, but they're just not as pretty. I don't display them on these shelves. I really like Stephanie Garber's books. They're just really fun and escapist and kind of nostalgic for old school fairy tales, that kind of fairy tale feeling. And I'm excited because she's working on a new series and I need new books from her. Next to this shelf is another Stephanie Garber shelf. I have a little tribute here to Caraval. This series came out before Once Upon a Broken Heart. I have this character art that I ordered from someone off of Etsy. I put it in a frame that flips back and forth so I can show the different characters depending on my mood. And then I have the US covers that I painted the edges myself. It was the first time I ever did book edges, and it was really fun, and I loved how it turned out, but it was a lot of work. I know a lot of people liked Once Upon a Broken Heart series, but didn't love Caraval. I don't know many people that it's the reverse, but I loved both of them. And then I have this duology from Arcane. I haven't opened it yet. I want to keep it protected until I'm ready to read it. It came with some character art. And I haven't heard of this series, but it looks really intriguing. I love the books. They're beautiful. So if you've read this duology or if you've heard anything about it, let me know if I should move it up on my TBR. But I do love the artwork and it's really intriguing me. Seems like something that I would enjoy. There's just so many books to read and so little time. But I do love the edges here. And then I have 2 copies of The Scorpion and the Night Blossom because I ordered the first print, which is the one on the right, which came with sprayed edges. I didn't know that I was also going to receive a Fairyloot edition, which is gorgeous, but looks very different and has a different dust jacket on it. I haven't read it yet, and so I'm just going to keep both editions until I read the book in case I love it and I want to keep both. Next to that is my UK covers of the Crimson Moth series, which is the Crimson Moth and the Rebel Witch, or if it's the US books, it's Heartless Hunter and the Rebel Witch. I much prefer the UK covers on this set. I think they are absolutely stunning. And these are just the covers that they came with. These are the first print, and I think they're absolutely gorgeous. They are not special editions. But then I have from Fairyloot, the Crimson Moth, or Heartless Hunter, but it's from the UK, so it says Crimson Moth. It has the gorgeous edges and this beautiful redesigned dust jacket that I absolutely think is just stunning. I do have the matching covers from Fairyloot coming for the Rebel Witch, but they just haven't arrived yet. So I'm really excited to see how they look, and they're going to look really good next to each other. I'll have to make a little space on the shelf once they show up. I'm always having to rearrange my shelves, but I love the character art. I love her like rose gold hair It inspires me. I have dyed my hair pink before just because I've been so inspired, and I'm thinking about doing it again. Right next to that series is Legendborn Cycle, which I believe is going to be 4 books. The first 3 are out. This is a bookend that came in a subscription box that was Legendborn themed. And Legendborn is a retelling of, well, it's based on King Arthurian lore, but it's such a fantastic series. If you haven't read this series, I highly recommend it. It is YA, but it doesn't feel YA. It's so well written, and it has a lot of representation, written by a Black author. I just couldn't recommend it more. These are my Fairyloot editions of the first 2 books. They have not yet released the 3rd book because Oathbound just came out a couple of months ago, but I am hoping that Fairyloot will do a special edition to match. So I really, really like this series, and I did include it in a reading vlog because I read Oathbound as soon as it came out. I was so excited. It's definitely one of my favorite YA fantasy series that just has a subplot of romance, but it's really heavy on the fantasy. And down here we have some of my favorite books, not just books, but I love these series so much. But look how freaking gorgeous these covers are. These are just the original covers. These are not special editions. These are the original cover art. I think they are so stunning. Behind them are my paperback editions of the same series. I have some other books that I need to stash back there, but I haven't done it yet. But I just love these covers. So this is the Infernal Devices series trilogy first. And you should read the Infernal Devices, the Clockwork series, and then read the Last Hour series. They follow the same group of people, but generations apart on a timeline. And so it works to read them back to back and all in order. I am in love with this series. I love all of the characters. I will love this series forever. All of these characters are like real people to me. Just love them so much. Okay, next to that shelf is my Strange the Dreamer shelf. And I have a few other books on this, but I love Strange the Dreamer duology. It's one of my favorites of all time. And I love these UK covers. I just think they're absolutely stunning. They have the metallic embossing on the front. And it's kind of weird because they sprayed the edges of the second book orange, but the first book has no sprayed edges. I might do it myself at some point. Behind them, I had Raven Kennedy's Plated Prisoner series, which is on my TBR, but I haven't read them yet. I also have the hardback editions that are really stunning on a separate bookshelf. So those are just the paperbacks that I have there to read because I prefer to read paperbacks when I'm reading a book, especially if I want to annotate it. And then these are my Illumicrate special editions of Strange the Dreamer. I love the edges. I love the character art, the end pages, the cover underneath. I'm a sucker for foiling. I just think it looks so nice. And the art on the dust jackets is kind of eerie, but it goes with the story so well. Like, the artist did such a good job, and I love it. And then I love how on the back of the dust jacket, it's a tribute to the original UK covers. But if you like fantasy and you haven't read the series yet, I highly, highly recommend it. I wouldn't call it a romantasy. It's very heavy on the fantasy, but it does have a beautiful love story in it that is very wholesome. So I love, love, love this series. And I think the books are absolutely stunning. And then I have this character art that I bought off of Etsy. And behind there, I have special editions that were recently released of the Hunger Games, including the ballad. And then hopefully they'll be releasing a 5th book that matches that set eventually. And then down here, I have Powerless, Powerful, Reckless, and Fearless. And these are the Barnes & Noble exclusive editions. I'm sorry about the instability. It was a weird angle and I was having a hard time getting a steady view of the books, but I did finally get it. So down here we have the Trial of the Sun Queen. It's a quartet. I have not read this series yet, but I've heard that it's really good. These are the Fairyloot editions. I thought they were beautiful, and because I think I'll like this series, I went ahead and purchased them. So there's 4 books total. And if you've read this series, will you let me know if you liked it, if you think I'll like it, if it's more fantasy, romantasy, just let me know. Here we have The Last Hours. I haven't read this, or The Last Hour Between Worlds. I like the edges, and I've heard that it's good. If you've read it, let me know. This is Mary Pearson's newest release that's in adult. It's her debut into adult fantasy, The Courting of Bristol Keats. And then we have the Dragonfall series by L.R. Lamb, which I'm dying to read, but I haven't read yet. And the second book just came out, Emberclaw, and these are the Barnes & Noble exclusive editions that I think are really beautiful. I mean, look at those, okay? If you like dragons, it's just how can you not, okay? And then next to that, I have The Stars Are Dying. I've heard mixed reviews about this book. If you've read it, let me know what you think. But I purchased the book before I knew that I was receiving a special edition in a book box. So this is the Owlcrate special edition, and I think it's really beautiful. It's very, very appealing to me, so I'm really hoping that I like the book, because I try to only keep like 4-star and above books on my shelf, or else eventually I'll be taken over by books. Here we have The Half King. That's just the original print, but it had really beautiful edges. And then this is the Fairyloot edition of A Language of Dragons. I have read this book. I really, really enjoyed the book. It's got a lot of themes about language and culture and colonialism, and of course it has dragons, and I'm just a sucker for dragons. But I love this edition. I think it's stunning. I love that the naked hardback is so beautiful. I like the reverse dust jacket with the giant dragon head, or like headshot, I guess, of the dragon. And then I love the end pages because this takes place in London in, I think it's Edwardian times. I just love books that take place during that timeline. I don't know what it is. And then we have the Fairyloot edition of A Feather So Black. I think this book is absolutely stunning, but I haven't read it yet. So I'm really hoping that I like it when I read it, because I want to keep the book. I have the Foxglove King, and I'm trying to find the matching Fairyloot editions in that series to go with it. Now, I ended up with 3 copies of The Courting of Bristol Keats because I pre-ordered the book because I love Mary Pearson's other books, and that was the black one that came with the sprayed edges. Then I received this one from Fairyloot that's kind of whimsical and has a totally different colorway. And then I also received this one that's got the green with the flowers that you saw up next to her other books that I received in another box. And I just love them all. I'm not sure which one I want to keep because I haven't read the book yet. If you've read her adult book, this Courting of Bristol Keats, let me know what you thought. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews, but I've loved her YA books, so I'm really hoping that I'll like it. Okay, you guys, we're on the final shelf. This is Shield of Sparrows. I just recently read this book. I loved the book. I think it's absolutely stunning. And so I've kept it up on my shelf to look at it just because it makes me so happy every time I see it. So congratulations to Devney, because this was fantastic and a beautiful book to boot. And then here we have a Fairyloot edition of Long Live Evil. I did start to read that book, and I think something happened. I got distracted. I can't remember. I was enjoying it, though, so I will come back to it. It wasn't a DNF. It was like an accidental distraction. This is The Heir by Sabaa Tahir, and I'm really anxious to read this. It builds on her other quartet. This is an omnibus that I purchased directly from the author, Annie Anderson. It's called The Wrong Witch, and I think it has 4 novellas that are all connected, and they're all in that one special edition. This is the Fairyloot edition of Water Moon. I think it's stunning, and I actually ended up really loving this book. I ended up giving Water Moon 5 stars. It's like I actually could see it becoming a comfort read for me, even though it's not really a comfort fantasy. I really loved it. This is The Wind Weaver. This is one of my more recent books that I've received, and I have already read it because I was hearing so much chatter about it. I think this edition of the book is stunning, and I really enjoyed the book itself. It's going to be in a reading vlog that's coming this week. But yeah, great book, beautiful design on this. And then next to this, I have the Fairyloot edition of Heavenly Bodies. I do have the author's indie edition of this book, and I have read it. I really enjoyed it. But this Fairyloot edition is absolutely stunning. I love the colorway. I love all the astrology. I love anything that's like celestial and astrological anyway, but it's relevant to the book. I like that it has the naked hardcover and a reversible dust jacket, and it has the astrology like cycle, I guess, or map on the internal cover, and so much attention to detail, and I love it. This is another subscription box receipt, Cruel is the Light. I haven't read it yet, but it looks really pretty and sounds really interesting, so I'm looking forward to it. And then here we have Silver Elite. These are special edges done by Book of the Month, and it's the first time I've ever seen them do that. But I didn't see any other editions with edges, and I wanted edges. I think they look really nice, and I loved that book. I freaking love that book. I gave that book 5 stars. It was such a joy. And then here I just have a jar of bookmarks that I make. I make these with beading, and they're all book-based and have different sayings on them. So that's just some extras I have there. This is the Raven Scholar. It's an Illumicrate version. I haven't opened it yet. I'm preserving it till I read it. Let me know if you know anything about the book, if you've read it or heard anything. I just never know when to speedily put something on my TBR. You know, I have so many books to read. These are special editions of The Lady of Darkness from the Arcane Society. And I do have the other 3 books in the series pre-ordered. They will be coming, so they will match with the same style of dust jacket and edges. Those Lady of Darkness indie editions were on the top shelf earlier in the video. I love the series, and I'm just happy to have both the paperback indie set and that I'm gonna have a special edition hardback set because I really do enjoy the series. And I also have read the spin-off book, Iron and Embers. That's the start of a new series that builds from that one, and I really enjoyed it. This is the first 2 books in the Witch Collector. I love the edges. I love how they're cohesive. I love when edges make a pattern. I'm repeating myself, but you should know that by now. I just like when they pay attention to details. There are 2 other books in the series, which I have pre-ordered, so I will have them to match. And I've only read the first book, but I've heard that it just gets better and better with the series, like as you go on. I love witchy books, and I'm looking forward to finishing the series. Lastly, I have the first edition of Heavenbreaker. Let me know if you've read it, what you think. I heard good things about it. It has pretty decent ratings, so it's on my TBR. Okay, you guys, that is it. That is the final shelf. What do you think? Let me know if you enjoyed this. Let me know if you want me to do this for my other bookshelves. I really appreciate you being here and spending your time with me. At the very top of my shelf, I have a tribute to Wicked because I love the play and the story so much, and I just needed something to remind me of it, and it brings me joy. So here are my bookshelves from my filming room. They are always evolving, but I love how they look right now. I really appreciate you choosing to spend your time with me. I love you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a fabulous week, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.